Hey guys, it's Mackenzie, your mommy's media medium, back at ya on this October 31st. Happy Halloween! Boo. Boo. I'm sorry. The reason why I say that is because we've been watching Disney Channel and Mickey's Monster Musical on repeat. This was Chicky's favorite Halloween cartoon last year, so much so that I had to actually go online and purchase it to download it because he liked it so much. Why, I'm not sure. But yeah, now that it's that time of season, Disney Channel has been playing everything Halloween-centric for the last month. Thankfully, today is the last day that they'll be playing it, even though I'm sure he'll still be requesting it. But yeah, I mean, we've been with the boo. Boo! Anyway, happy Halloween. I hope everybody's going to go out and get some candy. If you're not getting some candy, I hope you're handing out some candy. And if you're not handing out some candy, turn off your light. Don't be an a-hole. Don't do that to kids. Like, I'm knocking at your door, your light is on, I see you moving around, your TV's on, and you're just pretending like I'm not ringing your doorbell. Not cool at all. So yeah, today is Halloween. We are going dressed up as a group of Star Wars characters. I'm extra excited to be Chewbacca for the third year in a row. Chicky this year chose to be BB-8. It was his choice, which I'm so excited for, that he's still stuck within the Star Wars universe so that I can continue using my same costume. And my husband is actually going trick-or-treating with us for the first time. Normally he stays home and hands out candy. This year he's going to be joining us as a stormtrooper. So I think it's going to be really fun, really cute. Maybe people will probably be like, oh my God, they're so sweet that they're all dressed up together, even though I put as little effort into it as possible. Literally every costume that each one of us has is from Target. Chicky's is an actual costume. Charles and I have onesies. They're not even costumes. They're things that you can sleep in if you wanted to. And it's the laziest way to go about it, but it totally works, and I'm all about it. Normally the adult costumes at Target are $40. $40. That's a lot of dollars. That's a lot of dollars for one night. I've always hated that about freaking Halloween. Like, you spend so much money, and for what? For one night, and that's it. And it's over, and then you can't wear it again. Not that you can't wear it again, but as an adult, you feel like a loser wearing the same costume over and over again. Like I'm going to feel like tonight wearing my Chewbacca outfit for the third year in a row. But hey, we're on a budget, and I spent all my money, my costume money, on lipstick, so I really can't complain. Last episode, I had a little bit of a malfunction. If you listen to episode 9, you realize during my ear candy blowout that there was no music playing. So lame, so totally lame. I'm sorry, but I was doing the editing for the podcast, and my husband was like, you aren't playing music, like actual music, the songs on your podcast, are you? And I'm like, yeah, duh, of course I am. How am I talking about a song that I really like and like dissecting it and whatnot, and then not playing the song? And he was like, so you probably shouldn't do that, and I don't want to get sued. Probably shouldn't put that on your podcast. So we went to Google and looked it up, and there was conflicting results about whether or not music can be used on a podcast. Of course, you can't use music on a podcast if you are just playing it as your intro and outro, or just playing it just to play it. There has been some discussion on if you are discussing a particular song or the elements in a video or whatever. Same thing with books. If you're discussing the different areas of the book and reading quotes from the book, it could be copyright infringement, but at the same time, there's a very fine line because you're discussing it. Either way, my husband was like, I don't want to bring a case upon us that we get sued. And I'm totally like, I probably have 2 people that listen to my podcast. I don't think I'm even on that level. But regardless, I have to be a mom, I have to be responsible, and I have to take, I guess, responsibility for the fact that I am doing something that it's not going to be popular. I don't think it's going to be that popular that people like Taylor Swift and Calvin Harris are going to be coming after me for some money, but stranger things have happened, and I can't open myself up to that kind of stuff, considering we have no money. We have literally no money for anybody to sue us for, so unless they want me to come scrub their toilets. There's literally nothing that they can take from us. But either way, I have to be responsible. And I added a little snippet of me saying something about copyright infringement or some such nonsense that, you know, makes me laugh but makes me sad at the same time, because I really wanted to share those songs with you guys. I went on Spotify and I went ahead and created a playlist with those songs on it. So if you're on Spotify, go look me up. I believe I'm listed as Cool Chica. If not, I'm listed as Miss Mackenzie. You can get the download of the 10 songs that I mentioned in my blowout of last week. And I guess that's just going to be the end of it. I don't know if from here on out what I'm going to do for ear candy, because I would hate to just talk about a song and you not be able to hear a snippet of it to see what I'm talking about. So I don't know, the fate of ear candy as one of my topics is going to be up in the air. I don't know what I'm going to do. It really chaps my hide that's going to be how that's going to play out. I did, however, at the end of the episode, leave Lil Yachty. Please, Lil Yachty, don't sue me, because I really like that part, and I literally played less than 9 seconds of it. From what I saw online on Google, they're saying that someone can sue you for 5 seconds, 7 seconds, 10 seconds. I kept it under 10. So hopefully no one alerts Lil Yachty that I put his pepperoni wrap on my podcast and he doesn't come after me and try to take every last bit of my dollar store flip-flops that I own. Also, with episode 8, I realized that there was that audio issue that I said that I was having with the dropouts, where it would come up, drop down, come up, drop down. I didn't get to finish the whole Black China sues the Kardashian type thing, and I think the universe just doesn't want me to talk about Rob Kardashian and Black China, so I'm just going to leave it be. If you really want to know the details on that, please just go to Google or whatever search engine you use to figure that out. It's nothing big. It was just silliness to me, and I thought it was funny, but maybe I'm laughing at something I shouldn't laugh at, and the universe is like, I don't like you as it is, Mackenzie. Stop playing around. And of course, I didn't know that there was going to be that audio issue. And I don't know. I think I'm going to have to not use Audacity anymore. I seem to keep having these same issues with Audacity over and over again. My husband's friend who stays in our basement, he works in the audio industry, and he told me that more than likely it's a software issue. We initially thought that, well, he didn't think. I thought maybe it was the microphone, because I've been recording, all of these podcasts and not having a problem until I hit episode number 8. And from what I can see online, I don't see anybody else having the same issue with Audacity that I'm having. Maybe the microphone and Audacity are having a riff. I don't know. Or again, the universe just doesn't like me right now. Like, I need to make amends. I need to atone for whatever thing I did, because I don't understand what the problem is. And I have a new audio software that I can use. I just, I'm old. I'm not old, but I hate starting new things. I hate learning new things. And I don't know why. I don't know when I got to that point where you just don't want to learn anything new. You learn something and that's all you want to learn. I'm at that stage in my life where I just want to have the one thing and know how to do it. And I'm really good. I'm not even really good. I'm decent at Audacity. I know how to edit in Audacity. I know how to do what I need to do in Audacity. Trying a new program, I don't know what to do. I don't know how to do it. And that's scary to me. But if that's how it has to be, then that's how it has to be. Because I can't be dropping off whole sets like I did in episode 8. I'm sorry, it sounds really dumb. Like, I start the whole thing and then I just stop because there was an audio issue, and I meant to go back and actually put there was an audio issue. I don't even know if I did the clip. There were so many things. I will never, ever, 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 and I say never say never, as Fievel once told me. I don't think I'll ever do 2 episodes back to back. It was just too much work for me. First of all, going from one episode to another episode, you could hear that I was lagging in episode 9. Or at least I could hear that I was lagging. I felt like I was dying. I like to talk, but there is a limit to how much I can actually talk back to back without stopping. I do these episodes without any clips or anything. At least I try to. This one right now, I'm going to tell you, I'm going to let you in on a little secret. I'm having to actually go back because I stopped because of some other issue and noticed that the clipping, the dropping was happening again. So right now I'm recording in Audacity and I'm watching the clip as it goes to make sure it's doing what it needs to do. And hopefully it stays where it needs to stay. It might be because I'm not sitting in Audacity looking at the stuff as opposed to what I normally do. I'm talking and I'm looking at Google, which again was something that I was doing before. And I don't know why all of a sudden it doesn't like me to do it, but I can see that it's recording everything, or it looks like it's recording everything. Who knows if it's actually doing what it's supposed to be doing. But yeah, I have to learn a new system and I am not very happy about it, but we're going to go ahead and go on with the show and figure this out. So anyway, getting to the big stuff, getting to the nitty gritty of today's show. It is 11 o'clock and I am late. I am late. I wanted to start this an hour ago and then I got swept into reading stuff about the top 5 stories that I was working on, and my last topic, I kind of didn't really know what I was going to do, and I've been fiddling around with that. So let's get to it because I got to stop and get ready for a fall festival. By the way, I'm going to air a grievance really quick. I don't like the fact that kids don't get to dress up at school anymore. At least in this area, in my particular area, they do a fall festival now. They don't do Halloween, they do fall festivals. And it's usually like the weekend before Halloween, that Friday or whatever before. They have a little party, the kids can dress up, but they try to make it a point to say it's not Halloween. It's not Halloween. You're not dressing up for Halloween. You're just dressing up in costumes for a fall festival. And it made me sad looking at the kids walking up to school today and nobody's wearing costumes. My son is having a little fall festival at his daycare today where he gets to dress up in his costume after 3 and I have to bring some fruit. Again, another grievance. I'm tired. I haven't even done anything for his school as of this year. But today I have to bring some frickin' fruit, and next week after next, we're taking a dang gerbil home for a weekend. There's too many things that go along with like kid stuff nowadays. I feel like my mother didn't have to do all this stuff. Maybe she did. I'm pretty sure she didn't. But anyway, I just hate that they're taking all the fun out of stuff. Like, my God, like that was the best part of Halloween falling on a school day, is that you got to wear your costume all day long, like instead of just for a couple of hours. And it was especially special when it fell on a Friday, right? So you got to dress up, you got to wear your costume all day long at school, and then you got to go trick-or-treating and your parents let you stay up late because there's no school tomorrow. That was the best of the best. And now these kids don't know that, and I feel bad. It's like, oh, what is the world coming to? But anyway, getting to my top stories. Number 1 is Janelle Monae coming out of the closet. Not really. I actually got this information from a friend on her Facebook who is, an outed lesbian. Is that what you would call it? She's a lesbian. She's come out and she shared this story on her Facebook. And she said, well, duh, I already knew this. Me, myself, I won't say that I did. I never paid attention. I don't listen to Janelle Monae's music. She's one of those artists that I keep saying, like, I need to listen to, but I never actually get to listen to. You know me, if you don't know me, I have a lot of things on my to-do list, air quotes, my to-do list of things that I want to catch up on, fall in love with, and I never have enough time to do so because, I'm a stay-at-home mom, and the majority of the time I'm doing stuff that's kid-centric. He does listen to a lot of pop music. He does watch some of my shows, not all of my shows. I can keep it to the comedies. He knows the theme song to Modern Family because we watch it a lot. And that's about it. All my other really good stuff, I can't, do around him because he's at the age where he's picking it up. And then for the most part, I'm going to bed early. So I just don't have enough hours in the day to get into everything that I want to do the way I used to be able to when I was a teenager. I remember being a teenager and thinking, God, I don't have any time to do anything. Girl, you had so much time to do everything, you didn't even realize it. Like, I literally don't have time to do stuff. And when I do have time to do stuff, or like I think that like maybe I have some downtime to do anything, I think of something that has been on my list that actually needs to get done. listening to music doesn't actually need to get done. Organizing my basement actually needs to get done. Like, I have to adult on a regular basis, and it's so hard. Adulting is so hard. But anyway, Janelle Monae on this particular website, they're like, yeah, Janelle Monae comes out as gay, but they never say anything in the article about her actually coming out as gay, which is like really weird. The only reason why I'm even talking about it, because I think that it's something that does need to be touched on just a little bit, that somebody feels that they have to out somebody without outing them. And I'm going to get back into that later in my number 5, which hurts me to my core. But anyway, getting back to Janelle Monae, my number 1, is they're basically outing her, and she never really talks about being gay. She says that she has friends in the gay community. She thinks love is love. It doesn't matter where the love is coming from. Love is a fluid thing. She says that she has always been asked about her sexuality, and she wants to keep it to herself because, you know what? I want women to like me, so they'll buy my album, and I want men to like me, so they'll buy my album. I just want to sell records, and I don't care who likes me. If me keeping it a mystery makes me even more appealing to either one, go ahead. But the thing is, all the speculations are, I guess, coming to a head at this point because she recently was spotted at the Emmys with a friend of hers, Tessa Thompson. And I say friend, but this friend has cropped up in her Instagram photos over the last 2 years. So me and my friend Joanna, we hang out a lot, but she's not in all my Instagram photos. Joanna is not the only person that I go traveling with. When you look at Janelle Monae's Instagram, Tessa is the main person that she's going with everywhere. They're going to Mexico. They're going to this place, that place. They're always together. If you don't know the name Tessa Thompson, you'll probably know her by the end of next month when Thor comes out. She plays the character Valkyrie. She looks badass in this movie. So you'll probably start hearing her name a lot more. These two were spotted at the Emmys taking pictures together, but like really snugged up on each other. Like we're sitting next to each other, but my hand's on her hand and her hand's on my hand, and we're kind of like interlocked. Where in another photo, and we're really close together. So I'm assuming that they're saying that she's coming out, in the fact that she hasn't made it a point to say that she's coming out. She hasn't made it a point to say that her and Tessa Thompson are an actual couple. But the two of them are showing more signs of coupledom than they are of friendship. So if that's how Janelle Monae wants to go about showing her romantic relationship, go ahead. On this particular site, they do say hetero couples don't have to make it a point to say we're a couple. So why should a gay couple have to do it? And yeah, they're right. They're exactly right. And number 2, Tiffany Haddish is hosting SNL with musical guest Taylor Swift. And I am so excited for this pairing. I don't know why, in particular, this pairing. It's not even like I feel like the two of them together would be great. I just like the fact that it's Tiffany Haddish and it's Taylor Swift, so I don't have to tune into 2 different episodes of SNL. Apparently, SNL has been coming back with some really good skits, and I just, again, when do I have the time to watch stuff like that? My DVR is already screaming at me. I'm pretty sure my DVR is at capacity, because I haven't watched a dang on thing on that thing since the last time I told you I hadn't watched a dang on thing. I started watching Stranger Things on Friday. So happy. I got 3 episodes in, and that's it. That's it. I haven't watched anything else. And yeah. So I guess what I'm going to have to do is do the same thing I did with Stranger Things, which is put on my big girl panties and stay up till midnight on November 11th and watch this episode, because I'm probably not going to have any room on my DVR to record it, even if I wanted to. This was put on my radar because SNL shared a photo of their November lineup on Twitter this past weekend. Larry David and Miley Cyrus are going to be for the November 4th episode. Chance the Rapper and Eminem are going to be on November 18th. And yes, my 2 faves at this moment are Tiffany Haddish and Taylor Swift on November 11th. Of course, everybody's heard of Taylor Swift, so you know she's going to be the musical guest. She's probably going to be performing, let's say, I'm thinking it's going to be Are You Ready For It and Gorgeous. It's more than likely going to be Gorgeous and Look What You Made Me Do, which, girl, don't do Look What You Made Me Do. Please don't do Look What You Made Me Do. I cannot stand that song. But it's probably going to be Look What You Made Me Do and Gorgeous, which Gorgeous was on my ear candy blowout last week. Go on Spotify to listen to it because I can't play it for you. And Tiffany Haddish, if you have not heard that name, you should have heard that name. Tiffany Haddish took over the summer movie box office in Girls Trip. This movie, oh my God, is my favorite movie of 2017. I went to the movies with a group of girls. We watched this movie. I laughed, cried. This is a female version of The Hangover, which I equally thought was hilariously funny when it first came out. I could still watch that movie and probably not die laughing. I don't think I cried in that movie. I cried in Girls Trip, and it was mainly because of Tiffany Haddish. She is hilarious. She's been in other movies. I know her from this particular movie. All the characters played what they needed to play, how they needed to play it. She played the goofball. She basically played the Zach Galifianakis, but the girl version, and was on point. You need to watch this movie. You need to Netflix it, Redbox it, Blockbuster it. There's no Blockbusters anymore. What else is there? I know Redbox and Netflix. I don't know anything else. Oh, you can rent on iTunes. You can rent it for like $3.99 on iTunes. I think that's a little expensive. I think Redbox is a lot cheaper. Whatever your movie watching medium is, go ahead and watch this movie. And even if you don't watch the movie, just to get yourself familiar with Tiffany Haddish, go on Google, sponsor me, hashtag not sponsored, but Google, I talk about you a lot, man. Go on Google and look up Tiffany Haddish on Jimmy Kimmel. Just watching, I think it's maybe a 5-minute clip. It's a 5-minute clip of her talking about her getting a Groupon and taking Jada Pinkett Smith and Will Smith with her, and the hilarity that ensues. It is the funniest interview I have ever seen. She's hilarious. Just by watching that interview, I knew I had to see this movie, and we did. And I laughed, and I fell in love with her. She also has a book coming out this December called The Last Black Unicorn, which I am totally going to get, and I'm totally jelly of, because I should have been a black unicorn for Halloween. But I'm going to be Chewbacca again for the 3rd year in a row. God, so jelly. So anyway, yeah, Tiffany Haddish and Taylor Swift. Check that out on November 11th on SNL. I know I will be. Maybe I'll live tweet. Maybe that'll be my first live tweet ever, is watching SNL with Taylor Swift and Tiffany Haddish. I think I'm going to bookmark that. Mark my words, guys. Don't mark my words. Don't mark my words. I probably won't do it. I'll try to do it. I'm going to try to do that. I'm going to set my sights November 11th to live tweet to SNL. Okay, that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna put it on my calendar. I'm gonna do it. Number 3, we have Selena Gomez and The Weeknd splitting after 10 months together. Oh, Selena and The Weeknd. I thought they were actually a really cute couple. I won't say that it's one of those couples that I'm like, oh, I want to squeeze their faces, but I thought they were really cute. She has a little baby doll face, and he's really cool. He cut his dreadlocks off, and it made him a whole different person. But I love The Weeknd because he has a very 80s Michael Jackson feel to him. Me and falsetto voice boys, you know me. I love them. So anyway, these two split after 10 months. I kind of figured this was coming, and not just in the course of their relationship. I figured this was coming because I heard on Thursday, I went to visit my friend Joanna because we had to do family flu shots with my husband and my child. And I got to have lunch with Joanna, and she was like, have you heard about Selena and Jay Bieber? And I'm like, of course not. If it's not Monday night, I haven't heard of anything. I do hear of stuff during the week, but most of the time, because of all the stuff that with the 2 podcast, and we had fall festivals this weekend and all that kind of stuff, I really didn't have time to really sit on my phone and veg out like I normally would. But anyway, so she's like, yeah, have you heard of the whole Jay Bieber and Selena rekindling their friendship? And I was like, no, do tell. She said, yeah, they were hanging out, they went to church together, and they've been saying that because of the fact that she had the whole kidney transplant thing, that he reached out to her, and they rekindled their friendship. And I'm like, so what does The Weeknd think about this? And she's like, no, he's being totes cool about it. He thinks that it's like above board, it's all good, he knows they're just friends. And I called shenanigans, and yes, indeedy, my shenanigans were confirmed. Yesterday, it was confirmed that they had split up. Now, I don't know exactly when the split occurred, but the news hit yesterday. I'm thinking they probably had been talking recently. This is my speculation. They had been talking. The Weeknd saw that they had been talking, and they quietly went their separate ways. Her and Jay Bieber went to church together, and then the news finally broke because people were like, yeah, what the crap. Just to give you a backstory on Selena Gomez and The Weeknd, they began dating in January. They made their debut at the Met Gala, which is such a high-profile way to come out with a relationship. I think I've debuted a relationship at McDonald's once. Probably wasn't even McDonald's. It was probably Taco Bell. I was really into Taco Bell in my early 20s. I can't eat Taco Bell to save my life if I wanted to now. I'd probably have gas pains for a week if I ate one Taco Bell taco now. Taco Bell, don't sue me. I do love Taco Bell. It just doesn't agree with my old intestinal system. So Taco Bell, we used to be great lovers. Not anymore. But anyway, so yeah, they started dating in January. The split happened on quote-unquote Monday. Before the news broke that they had actually split up, people said that, yeah, Selena and Justin had hung out, they went to church together, but The Weeknd wasn't fazed by it. As a matter of fact, they said, and I quote, "He didn't think her talking to Justin was weird. He doesn't care." Girl, please, he doesn't care. So after they split, if he didn't care so much, why did he go on a house cleaning rampage of his Instagram and deleted all signs of Selena from Here to Kingdom Come? Not just her pictures. He unliked photos that he had liked on her Instagram. He unfollowed everybody that she deals with. He unfollowed her mama, her cousins, her brother, her dog, her gerbil. He unfollowed everybody. He went on a rampage and said, "I am done." Now, from what I read online, he did the exact same thing with Bella Hadid when they broke up too. So maybe he's just one of those guys that once they're done, they're done. He doesn't want to reminisce. He doesn't want to say, we're good friends. They still follow each other on Instagram, but he unliked all her stuff, which I'm like, dang, that is petty wop. Not Fetty Wap, that's petty wop. That's petty as F to go back through all her Instagram photos that you liked and unliked them. Like, ugh. He didn't care, guys. He didn't care. Methinks not. And as early as this Sunday, Selena and Justin were seen again at church together and having breakfast together. So I already said it, guys. I said it before. He's writing songs about her. She's still writing songs about him. They are going to get back together. I'm going to go ahead and make a prediction. At least by the beginning of 2018, Justin Bieber and Selena Gomez are going to be, quote unquote, taking it easy or seeing where the relationship goes. Whether or not they'll actually last, I don't know, but I guarantee they are going to be back together in some way, shape, or form by the end of the year. These two are dumb love over each other, and it's that first love syndrome. I get it. I understand it. It's really hard to let go of that first love. You may date somebody else. They may date somebody else. Hell, you might even get married and have kids with somebody else. That doesn't negate the feelings that you had for them, and it doesn't negate the feelings that you kind of still have for them, given the circumstances where you guys couldn't be together. So I'm going to say it here. Say it first. I'm here. I'm saying it. Selena Gomez and Justin Bieber are going to get back together. Number 4 and number 5. Where do I begin with these? The number 4, not that I don't care about it. It's James Toback, and I don't think I really watch too many James Toback movies. He's a director, writer, / filmmaker, the whole gamut type thing. Hollywood is going on a rampage. The same way The Weeknd went on a rampage on his Instagram. They're going on a rampage when it comes to sexual harassment. Anything and everybody who had anything to do with some stuff with harassing anybody, you're getting thrown under the bus, my friend. It's time to repent, because there are some fires are burning in Hollywood when it comes to this stuff. So number 4, like I said, doesn't really hurt me. Number 5 does, because it deals with my favorite actor. So I'm going to go ahead and get into it. Number 4 is James Toback is being accused of sexual harassment by 30 plus women. This is from an article that was published by the LA Times. 38 women made an account of him sexually harassing them. 31 of those 38 women have actually gone on record saying that he did indeed sexually harass them. Now, when somebody goes on record, they are putting themselves in the fire to actually go to trial with something, which is a big deal. Because if you go to trial for something and you perjure yourself, you can get sued, and nobody wants to get sued if you perjure yourself. So now this rivals the whole Harvey Weinstein thing in the number of accusations. His are, in my opinion, a little bit worse than the Harvey Weinstein thing. At least with Harvey Weinstein, he was like talking about getting massages. He was like, watch me shower, which is skeevy. It's skeevy. It's gross. It's disgusting. But this guy is actually being accused of like actually groping and rubbing up on people and rubbing up on himself. I don't want to get too graphic with it because it's graphic. When I was reading just a short article, I didn't even read the LA Times article about it because I was like, I don't feel like getting, my brain wrapped up in all of that because I had to get wrapped up into the Kevin Spacey thing. But the short little snippet that I read from this particular article was like, he promised young girls, young starlets, like, I'll get you a part in this movie, a speaking part, a 5-minute clip. I'll get you the leading part or whatever in my movie if you allow me to touch myself in front of you or look you in the eyes while I'm touching myself. Like, my God. Right now, I'm just like, up in arms. My hands are up in the air because I'm like, ooh, I'm like the cat that you like rub his belly and his hands go up. That's how I feel right now. Like, ooh, but nobody's rubbing my belly, and I don't need anybody to rub my belly. My belly is just doing weird things by itself because I'm thinking about this man doing this to young girls. It's just so gross. And of course, he denies it. He's calling people sea suckers and female genitalia names because he's mad because he's like, well, I've always made movies on a budget. I've always done it with my own money, and for these people to throw me under the bus and say that I did these things, I mean, it's big name stars. One of them, most notably, Julianne Moore. Like, Julianne Moore doesn't need to put her name on a list unless she has a reason to put her name on the list. You know what I'm saying? So, James Toback, again, I'm lumping you with Harvey Weinstein, and you suck. You suck. And number 5, like I said, this one hurt me. This one hurt so bad because it has to do with Kevin Spacey. Kevin Spacey is being accused of making sexual advances toward a minor. Now, this is not him, 58-year-old Kevin Spacey, being accused. This is Kevin Spacey at 26 being accused of making sexual advances of a minor. But regardless, he did it. No matter when he did it, he did it. It is actor Anthony Rapp, who is now 46, who is accusing Spacey of making these advances. Anthony Rapp went on record again on a BuzzFeed news article basically detailing his account of what happened. And just to give you a little snippet, again, I don't want to get too graphic, but the encounter itself is not graphic at all. It really isn't. It's only graphic in the fact that when you're thinking about it, it's a 14-year-old boy being put in this position as opposed to a grown woman, which doesn't make it any better, but it certainly makes it a little bit worse. He says that he and Kevin met while they were on Broadway. Kevin was doing one show, he was doing another show. They ran into each other at one particular party, and Kevin invited him to his apartment where they were having another party a couple of days later. Now, at this particular party, Anthony Rapp says that he realized once he got there that he was the only kid, which he said wasn't that far of a stretch of things that could happen because he was one of the younger actors that was in the Broadway show to begin with, and he was used to being always one of the only kids at a Broadway party. And he said normally when he went to Broadway parties, sometimes his mom would come, sometimes his mom wouldn't. So he's like, I don't want to make it look like my mom was doing bad parenting. It's just sometimes she went, and then sometimes she didn't feel the need to because of who I was hanging out with. So I guess on this particular time, his mother felt that it was okay to go to this party where there was going to be grown-ups. I don't know. He's like, yeah, it's a different time. I rode the subway by myself. I did this by myself. And I feel like people did do all those things. I know I came home by myself. I remember when I was a kid, being 6 years old with another 6-year-old and a 5-year-old, and we would cross over this mini highway to get home by ourselves and let ourselves into our house. Like, kids nowadays don't know the struggle of what it is to grow up in the 80s like we did without CPS coming. You know, now if we did that, I'm sure they would have taken me and my friend and my other friend from our parents for allowing that kind of stuff to happen. So getting back to it, he says he's at this party. He realizes he knows literally no one. So he goes into Kevin's bedroom and turns on the TV and just sits on the bed. And before he knows it, he says that he sees Kevin standing in the doorway. He seems like he's inebriated. At this point, that's when he realizes everybody's gone. Long story short, Kevin picks him up, places him on a bed, and leans on top of him. And he says he squirms, he gets away, like heads towards the door. Kevin follows him and is like, "Are you sure you want to leave?" He says yes, and he leaves, and that's the end of that. There is nothing more to the story other than that particular thing. Now, I'm not saying that, oh, there's nothing more, so he should just get over it. I'm not trying to say that. And I know you can probably hear a little weirdness in my voice because it's like I'm trying to put myself in the shoes of this man who at the time was a boy, and having to deal with that kind of thing that early on, I'm sure was very confusing. And then he said, "It was so long ago, I don't remember if I told my mom. I don't remember if I told anybody else. I figured I wouldn't run into Kevin Spacey ever again because we were on Broadway. He was a little known actor at the time, so he thought that was going to just be the end of it." But of course, around 87, when this happened, is when Kevin Spacey's career starts to take off. Kevin Spacey is in Working Girl. Kevin Spacey starts doing other things. And now Rap, who thought that he'd never have to see this man again, starts seeing him everywhere. Now, of course, Kevin becomes a big deal on Broadway, and now is to hosting Tonys and stuff like that. So he's always having to run into Kevin Spacey. Now, over the years, Anthony Rapp has told people about this thing. So it's not like this is just coming out of nowhere and he's just trying to capitalize on the fact that all these women are talking about being sexually harassed in Hollywood, and now he wants to get his little piece of the pie too. When you're reading this particular article, there are several people that they make mention of that are like, yeah, he told me this story in the early 90s. He told me this story in the late 90s. He told me this story in the early 2000s. As a matter of fact, he told the story to The Advocate back in 2001. The Advocate is I don't know how to say it without saying it weird. It's a gay magazine. I don't know if I want to classify it as that, but it's a predominantly lesbian, gay, community type magazine, The Advocate, and there's Out magazine as well. I don't even know if these two magazines are even still in publication, to be honest with you. I remember them being a big thing back in the 90s, like the late 90s when I was in high school, because it was like, wow, people, gay people especially, and that's when you just said gay. You didn't say lesbian, you didn't say Q or anything like that. You just said gay. They had a forum, a medium where other gay people could talk about their experiences, could talk about the fact that they're in a movie where they might have been shunned by another particular magazine. So anyway, he tells his story to The Advocate back in 2001, but they redacted Kevin Spacey's name because back then, and the guy who was the head publisher at the time, I read his article that he published on Monday after the news broke on Sunday, saying that the reason why they redacted Kevin Spacey's name is because although Esquire ran a big thing back in 97 outing Kevin Spacey never officially came out. So they made it a point not to out actors that hadn't been outed for themselves. So that's why they didn't put his name in it. Not because they didn't believe in Anthony's story, it's just because they didn't feel it right to tell the story and out somebody at the exact same time. They have a policy. He says that they still have a policy in effect at the magazine. So I guess it is still in publication now that I'm thinking about it. Duh, Mackenzie, you just read that last night. It is still in publication. They still have a thing where they say they will not out anybody who has not officially come out themselves, who has not come out to say, I am gay, I am lesbian, whatever they want to use to describe themselves. So in the article that was run by BuzzFeed, Anthony Rapp is quoted as saying, I am not here to simply air a grievance, but to try to shine another light on the decades of behavior that have been allowed to continue because many people, including myself, being silent. I am feeling awake to the moment that we're living in, and I'm hopeful that this can make a difference. So now, because of the Harvey Weinstein thing and the James Toback thing, he's feeling more empowered to be able to share his story no matter what the cost at this point in his career. And it's going to come at a big cost to, unfortunately, Kevin Spacey's career. House of Cards is going to get canceled. They said at the time that it was already on the chopping block. They were just kind of teeter-tottering between whether or not they were going to cancel the show or not. But with these allegations coming out, they have decided that they're going to go ahead and cancel the show. And for Kevin Spacey's part, he did go on Twitter right after the story ran. And the thing that sucks is because he makes an apology. Now, his team of people who wrote this for him, and you know there was a team of people, he didn't write this by himself. Anytime something big like this happens, they have people that come out and help them write it. Whoever wrote this for him totally threw him under the bus. Because in today's medium, in today's world, where it comes to social media, you have to watch what you say. You have to watch how you say it, because people will pick it apart. Now, it doesn't matter if you have the most perfect speech in the entire world. Someone, somewhere, will find something to pick it apart for. I mean, that's just how life is. But anyway, here is word for word what Kevin had to say on Twitter. I have a lot of respect and admiration for Anthony Rapp as an actor. I am beyond horrified to hear this story. I honestly do not remember the encounter. It would have been over 30 years ago. But if I did behave as he described, I owe him the sincerest apology for what would have been deeply inappropriate drunken behavior, and I am sorry for the feelings he describes having carried with him all of these years. The story has encouraged me to address other things about my life. I know that there are other stories out there about me, and that some have been fueled by the fact that I have been so protective of my privacy. As those closest to me know, in my life I've had romantic relationships with both men and women. I have loved and had romantic encounters with men throughout my life, and I choose now to live as a gay man. I want to deal with this honest and openly, and that starts with examining my own behavior. Now, he could have just left it at, I am sorry for the feelings he describes having carried with him all these years. He could have just left it at that. But the thing is, he went to that second part, and that's where people are really blowing him up. People were bombarding Kevin with the fact that, oh, now he chooses to come out to deflect from the fact that he molested a child. It happened over 30 years ago, so he doesn't recollect. I feel like there's things that happened to me. If I want to sit back and think about things that I did at 26, I remember fondly, and I say I remember fondly a time where on my 26th birthday, I think it was literally my 26th birthday. My birthday falls around St. Patrick's Day. My husband had a friend that was in town. We went out for St. Patrick's Day to some Irish pub. I remember drinking Jaeger bombs, which, I can't even, the life of a 20-year-old. I can't with you, Mackenzie. But anyway, I was drinking Jaeger bombs all night, and I remember drinking a lot. I don't remember drinking as much, but I drank enough that I remember throwing up in the bathroom, and the next thing I know, I was in my bedroom and I felt sick and I was throwing up in my bathroom. Such is the life of a 26-year-old, I assume, that drinks that much. Come to find out a day later, my husband, who was my boyfriend at the time, tells me there was at least 3 hours between the time that I was throwing up in the bathroom and then I was throwing up in the bathroom at the house. So I blacked out. I can only imagine the things that I said, did, or whatever to people in that drunken state. I've never gotten that drunk ever again. But, the things that you might do or say or whatever. I'm not trying to excuse Kevin Spacey's behavior. I am really not trying to excuse it at all. I don't think that it speaks to a pattern because the story ran on Sunday. It is now Tuesday. No other stories, I'm going to cross my fingers, no other stories have come out of any kind of misconduct that go along the lines of the misconduct that Anthony Rapp is talking about. So I'm hoping that this is a one-time deal, that this happened. Regardless, it scarred one person. One person is more than enough that had to suffer through this for the last 30 years, and especially the last 30 years, and you have to see that person over and over again, and people are like giving him awards. People love him. I still love him. He is still my favorite actor. I fell in love with Kevin Spacey watching The Usual Suspect. We had pirated cable. Back in the day when you could pay your cable guy like $50 and he would hook you up with pay-per-view. Usual Suspects was on pay-per-view the year it came out in 95. I watched it on like a Saturday evening and fell in love and watched it over and over and over again. I have literally seen The Usual Suspects, I'm going to just guesstimate, over 100 times. If you put that movie on right now, I could word for word read out everybody's lines. That's how many times I've seen this movie. And I love Kevin Spacey. And it sucks that this is something that will haunt him for the rest of his life. He probably will never work again. I won't say he won't work again, but it's going to be a long time before anybody puts him in anything. It's going to be a long time before he's ever invited back to the Tonys. He's certainly not going to ever host the Tonys again. It's a really crappy thing. And, you know, it's been a really crappy thing for Anthony Rapp to have dealt with this for the last 30 years of his life as well. So, Kevin, I'm still in your corner, but my God, why? That ends it. That ends my top stories. It's on a sad note for me. It's on a sad note for for Anthony Rapp. And I'm laughing, and not because I find it funny. I'm laughing because I'm uncomfortable. I laugh, I giggle when I'm uncomfortable. I'm one of those people. When we, like my husband and I have serious conversations, I make it a point not to look at him, which makes him angry because he wants me to look at him. But I know if I look at him, I'm going to start smiling uncontrollably, not because I find the situation funny, but literally because I'm so flippin' uncomfortable. The only emotion that I can show is like happiness, which doesn't make any sense. But it's funny because Claire on Modern Family does the exact same thing, and I thought I was the only person that does that, and I now know that I'm not, and it makes me feel a little bit better. But yeah, Kevin Spacey, bad news bears. So anyway, that rounds out my top 5 stories. I'm going to go ahead and get into my other parts of today's show. Hopefully I haven't had any blips. I had to stop for a second because I noticed that the stuff was lagging behind, and I think that it's still lagging behind. Please do not make me go back to this, because I literally have 30 minutes to finish this, and then I gotta go cut some flippin' strawberries for this fall festival. So let's get into it, because the show needs to get to an end. My topic has to do with my I'll do anything once, and it's also a beauty trend that is making a boom right now. It's my adventures in microneedling. Now, I did microneedling a couple of months ago. This isn't something that I did recently, but in going back and listening to my podcast, because obviously I'm a narcissist that says that I have no time, but I have enough time to go sit back and listen to myself talk. I mentioned that I should, in podcast number 5, talk about microneedling, and I decided, oh my God, that was 5 podcasts ago. I should probably get on that. So yeah, let's get into it. I did microneedling in, I believe, July of this year. Changed my flippin' life. Now, the only reason why I even got into microneedling was because I initially tried radio frequency skin tightening. Groupon, which I am a big fan of, hashtag not sponsored again by Groupon, but I love Groupon. You need to get Groupon. You will find all kinds of things to do great adventures on. That's where most of my I'll try anything once things are going to come from, is me going on Groupon and seeing some kind of deal, because I love a good deal. You know me, I love deals on top of deals, coupons on top of a deal, on top of a discount. So I am all about the Grouponing. And I found the radio frequency skin tightening thing because, like I said, I am at that point, I just turned 35. I had lost a lot of weight. At that point, when I was trying the radio frequency facial, I had lost 10 pounds. So I went from 145 pounds to around 135 pounds. So you could kind of see that weight loss in my face, which sucks. You know, I look back at pictures and I was like, oh, my face was a little bit on the plumper side, like chubby side, but it was good and plump. Now, because I've lost the weight, my face is like, you can see all the contours of all the bones in my face. Like, I don't need to lose any more inches on my face. I need the inches to lose off my belly. And my belly's not going anywhere. My belly's very aggravating to me. But anyway, I tried the radio frequency because I'm like, okay, I just want to tighten up the area mainly around my eyes, which is where most females have most of their issues. It's, you just want it to be a little bit firmer. And I tried it and I saw no results whatsoever. But I only paid, and I say only, I only paid $70 for it. We had our tax money at the time, so I felt like a thousandaire, and I was like throwing money left and right. I was making it rain. And when I went to this particular salon, they were like, well, on your first visit, you get a certain percentage off a second treatment if you want to, but you have to do it, of course, while you're standing there. You can't go home and think about it. You have to make the commitment right now. I hate when they do that. So she was telling me about microneedling. She gave me, because I was telling her like, yeah, you know, I'm getting a little bit older. I want my face to be a little bit tighter. And she was like, you know, you might want to try microneedling. Actually, microneedling does do a good thing to your face. She was like, you might know microneedling from Kim Kardashian when she did the blood facial. And I was like, I do remember the blood facial. Now, microneedling is not the same thing as a blood facial, only in the fact that the blood facial actually takes your own blood and separates the plasma, and after they needle your skin, which I'll get into, they put your blood onto your face, which sounds so graphic, but so many people have said with the blood facials, it is legit life-changing. So I'm contemplating doing a blood facial at some point in my life. I don't know if it's going to be anytime soon because they're really expensive. But so she's saying like, you should try microneedling. And I'm like, okay, how much is the microneedling? And the microneedling ended up being 4 times as much as that facial, but it was well worth it. I went there. Initially, when you get there, they numb your face. They put a cream all over your face and you have to sit there for an hour. The anesthetician, I think that's what they're called, the anesthetician that did mine, she was like, normally in most settings you would probably do it for about 30 minutes, but she said the lady up in the front who does all the coordination and everything, she's like, she wants people to do it for 45 minutes to an hour to make sure that they're as relaxed as they can be. It's more of a spa-like treatment if you get to sit and relax and you're listening to oceans and waves and all the like playing out around you. So I sat there for 45 minutes and then she comes in with the dermal pen. Now the dermal pen, what it does is it basically pokes little holes in your face. And these little holes basically damage the outside of your skin. By doing this, it kickstarts the body's own natural defense system, and your body starts trying to repair itself, and in doing that repair it boosts up the collagen, which firms up your face and makes you have a more youthful glow. Also, by having these holes in your face, you're able to, any kind of like really good creams and serums, they're able to penetrate your skin deeper than when you're just putting it directly on your face. So if you're into a nighttime regimen or a daytime regimen where you're using serums and retinol creams and things like that, by having the Dermapen push and puncture holes into your face, those things are actually able to go deeper down, so you're getting more of the benefits. That's where you have the derma rollers that you can get on Amazon. I have on my Christmas wish list a derma roller that is, I think, being sold at Bloomingdale's that you can do at home. I'm all about it because I really want to get into it, because once I had this facial, once she did it, after a week, I saw a difference. It was amazing. That first few days though, I looked like crap. I looked like I had spent hours in the sun and burned to a crisp, which, you know, I'm black. I don't burn. I've burned 2 times in my life. One in Florida when I was like, I think 12 or 13, and one when I went to Hawaii, which if you ever gone to Hawaii, you know that you get burnt to a crisp because you're closer to the equator and the sun is so much hotter. And that is the only time that I've ever burned. But this like looked like legit like sunburn. My face was red. It was tender. Just to even like rub it, to wash it, it hurt so badly. And I'm like, why did I do this? Why did I do this? I paid money for someone to hurt me. What is wrong with women today? Like, why am I paying somebody to hurt me? But then as it started to wear off and my skin started to heal itself, I saw it. It was like, oh my God, the acne scars that I had had for the last like 8 months that weren't fading as quickly as they normally would, they were gone. she told me when she was doing the pin on my face, she's like, yeah, you know, you're not going to feel the need to wear foundation anymore. And at that point, that's when I stopped wearing foundation. It's amazing. The lady, the front desk lady, when she was initially telling me about the microneedling, she's like, yeah, I have clients that come in here every 6 weeks. They get it done. And people are asking them, have they had facelifts and stuff like that? I obviously don't have the kind of money where I can get this done every 6 weeks. I don't have $300 to drop down on some microneedling every 3 weeks. But that's why I'm trying to get on my Christmas wish list, my little derma roller, where I could do it myself at home. And maybe I'm not going to get the same benefits that I would get from one session at the spa for $300. Maybe mine for $300 with my thing that I have, I'll have to do every night on the regular to see results in 6 months. But I'm okay with that. It's not like I'm trying to enter any beauty pageants anytime soon. I just want to look my best and not have to rely so much on products like foundation and stuff like that to make me look my best. I want to have a natural look my best glow by doing things to my face to make it look like that. I guess I'm not really making any sense here. But yeah, microneedling is great for acne scarring, is great for stretch marks, and is great for all skin types. I am all about the stretch mark thing. That's another reason why I want the thing for at home, because I want to do my butt. My butt has so many stretch marks. My butt has always had stretch marks. I am, again, 5'8", 5'7" and 3/4". So I'm tall, and most of my body is my legs. And I'm guessing I grew from my butt. Like, my legs grew directly from my butt area, and that was it. Like, there's stretch marks aplenty. The stretch marks that I have on my butt did not come from pregnancy. They came from puberty, which is ridiculous to me. So I want to try this roller on my butt and see if maybe this summer my butt cheeks can be shown on display like everybody else's butt cheeks, because normally I wear boy shorts. I don't wear my butt out. I wear shorts, or I wear boy shorts when I'm at the beach or at the pool, because I am just so like embarrassed of my stretch marks. I know I shouldn't be, because I should wear them as a badge of honor, but I'm just not at that point in my life where I feel like that's a badge of honor that I want to have. Because I'm vain. Oh well. But anyway, yeah, go on Groupon. And in your area, I looked on Groupon today, I found a microneedling session as low as $114, which is really, really cheap. You might be able to, if you're not in the DC area. I'm in an expensive ass area, so of course it's going to be more expensive where I am. But if you're in a different area, maybe if you're in Dallas or in Florida or something, you might be able to find it cheaper. And I think it is one of those good splurges that if you want to feel good about yourself and you want to just have a really good facial, it's worth it. It's very much worth the money. I wouldn't spend more than $300 on it though. I would not spend more than that. But if $300 and I do it every 6 months to have a professional do it, the lady who did mine, she said that she does hers too. She does it every 6 months. She's like, I don't think that you need to do it any more regularly than that, like unless you want to look like you're 20. No, just kidding. But she said, I don't think you need to do it any more than once every 6 months. You really do have great skin. This is just going to improve it a little bit more. And yeah, I don't think that $300 is that bad. And I may not go back to them. I might try this spa that's offering it for $114. They got really good reviews on Groupon, and why not? If I can do it at a third of the cost, I'm all for it. So go ahead, try that out. It's really fun. It's not fun, but it's really cool to just be a part of that, I think. And that is it. I am going to wrap up today's show. Like I said, I had so many audio issues. I don't know what I'm going to do. I do know what I'm going to do. I'm just going to go ahead and learn this new software on Thursday. I thought I was going to have a Thursday to myself where I can watch Stranger Things, but obviously I don't get to have any luxuries in life. I'm doing this podcast like it's, my livelihood, but it is kind of like my livelihood. It's something fun for me, and I want to make sure that I'm not stressed out going into doing it. Otherwise, it's going to be something that I'm not going to want to do. I don't want to do something that every time I go to do it, I'm stressed out thinking about it, stressed out doing it, and stressed out afterwards. So I'm going to try out this new program on Thursday, and hopefully this episode actually comes out okay. If you hear any drop-offs, if you hear me talk about one thing and go to another thing, I'll try to make sure, I guess, to tell you about it. You'll know it. This time I'll actually go in and say there's an audio malfunction I'll try to go ahead and put something so you know in true Mackenzie fashion that something has gone wrong, and you'll just know that next time I'm going to try a different software and hope that this gets resolved and I don't have to do this on a regular basis. So that is it. That is it for today's show. I hope you had a good time. I hope that tonight you get some good candy. If you're young and you're able to go out and party, be safe. If you're old and you're having to walk around the neighborhood with your kid, I don't know, bring some beer. Do parents do that? Do parents drink? I've seen some parents do that. Have I? Or am I making that up in my head? I won't be walking around with any beers. I'll be walking around trying to wrangle my 3-year-old into not eating all of the flipping candy. I am so dreading tonight. I'm dreading it because last year it was a crap show. It was a literal crap show because he doesn't take naps now. Hopefully today he'll take a nap at daycare. It's nap time at daycare right now. So hopefully he'll get a little snooze in. And he woke up just before we had to leave. He didn't want to eat any dinner, so he had nothing on his belly. We started doing the candy thing, and that's all he wanted to do was eat candy. So he literally went from eating before nap time, which was I think like 1:30, 2 o'clock, to eating candy at 6 o'clock. And that's all he did for the next 2 hours while we walked around the neighborhood and got candy. And he didn't eat until like 8:30. He ate some French fries, which isn't great either. So today we're going to be on it. He has his little fall festival at school. He's going to eat some fruit. We're going to go get some Little Caesars, $6 extra most bestest pizza for us, and some cheesy bread for him. We're going to be fed, bellies full, and get to it. And I'm just going to, I don't know what I'm going to do as far as letting him have candy. Oh no. It's a balance, man. Parenthood is a balance. Like, you're negotiating at all times to not have somebody crying all the time because he's in that crying phase where he doesn't understand his emotions. He doesn't know how to display his emotions. All he knows how to do is cry. And that is aggravating as ish, man. So I might just have a 5 candy rule for tonight. And then once he's asleep, throw away half his candy. I don't know. Because he has a candy bag as it is. He has a little candy bag right now that he rummages from. So I don't know. He doesn't know how many candies are in there. So yeah, I'm just going to have to rummage through it and give half of it away to our neighbor or something, or some other kid. Who knows? But anyway, so yeah, have a great Halloween. Have a happy Halloween. Next time I join you, it will be November. No Shave November. I'm going to participate in that and not shave my pits and not shave my legs. Be forewarned. And that is it. Follow me on social media. I am at Mommy's Media Medium on Instagram and Facebook. I am at Miss Mackenzie on Twitter. I still don't know what I am on my Spotify. I'll make sure to tell you guys that next show. And I'll also put that on my Instagram so that you can follow a link or something to my Spotify so you can get that playlist, that ear candy blowout, if you really want to hear it. That is it, guys. Bye.